Man, I just feel like love is the answer. But it's more deep than that. It's not just like love from the state of the mind that's stuck in compulsive thinking. Love is the answer because love takes us into a deeper state of consciousness, because it relaxes the monkey. The path of Buddhism, the path of pursuing enlightenment through meditation, it can be broken down into dissolving the automaticity and the compulsiveness, the restlessness of the monkey, tranquilizing the monkey with tranquility, bringing the biology into a peaceful, harmonious state, and trying to stay in that state for as long as possible. Trying to spend as much time in that state as possible. Because when there's clarity and when there's tranquility, we can see more clearly. And when we can see more clearly, we can see things as they are. We can see truth. And when we see truth, it dissolves the illusions, and fear is entirely generated by illusions. Pretty much all fear comes from a fear of death, even if subconscious. And when you see the truth, you see that there is no you to live or die anyway. So then you stop fearing death. And when you see that you don't exist, death is guaranteed, all things are empty, all things are impermanent, all things are fleeting, the anxieties that are kind of embedded into the monkey for survival reasons, they fall away. And then you're no longer so neurotic because you're not constantly craving and striving and wishing for more. You're not constantly anxious about death, about being attacked, about being annihilated. You're not fixated on status, not fixated on power. You're not fixated on replicating your genes. You can take it or leave it in regard to everything. Nothing can be added and nothing can be taken away. Everything is infinitely full and infinitely empty. And it's fucking terrifying because it annihilates you. And we're sentimental creatures. We get attached. You know, that's a big part of Buddhism and yoga too. Attachments. We cling to things. We get so invested in them. We get so sentimental about them. And we're sentimental about this story that we have created. Anything that's around us for long enough, we get attached to, we identify with, and then we associate it as us, and then we fear its loss because we fear death. We're constantly craving for permanence. We cling to permanence. We want something secure. We want to like know this is going to last forever. Like, I want to find my forever person. I want to find my purpose and my passion that I'll have for the rest of my life. You know, like, we all just want something that we feel will provide us some solid foundation. Yet everything we're sitting on is empty. Even this concrete I'm sitting on, according to physics, it's not at all solid. It's composed of atoms, which are mostly emptiness. And it's also vibrating kind of violently. So that's not very calming. Like, everything here is like, you know? And if you zoom out a little bit, we're sitting on like a dirt ball in an infinitely big void. So if you use meditation to tranquilize the mind, the autopilot will stop. Automatic thinking will stop. The ripples in the pond will stop, and you'll see the true reflection that is you and everything. Because you are everything and everything is you. And you are nothing and everything is nothing, and nothing is you. And man, that's liberating. Because we're so anxious. We're such anxious creatures. Will I achieve my full potential? Have I wasted years? Did I make a mistake with that ex-lover? Were they the one? You know, did I waste all those years with them when they weren't the one, when I could have been with the one? Should I be pursuing this career or that career? Should I learn about this to maybe like help these people? Like, my parents and my uncles and my aunties and everyone I love will die. That's the thing. Like, there's all these reasons to be anxious and neurotic and perpetually thinking and trying to problem solve, but ultimately it is all a hallucination, and you can waste your entire life planning and fretting, you know? Planning, making goals, and preparing for the future, or like fretting about the potentials that could come, and ultimately it's all just a fucking hallucination. Everything that isn't sensations right now is a hallucination. We're completely missing the entire show, you know? We're completely missing the whole picture, the whole point. What a tragedy. And ultimately nothing's tragic or good, you know? It's all on the relative plane, but no, it's fucking tragic because life is so beautiful. And people are walking around perpetually overstimulated, perpetually with their battery on like 10%, you know? And in the way like a phone or a computer, when the battery gets low, it goes into low power mode. And then you only get like a certain amount of the processing power in the phone or the laptop. And you don't really notice it with like a phone because what you need to do, you know? People that are gaming on their phone would notice it or whatever. But yeah, you don't notice it. But the monkey works in the same way. If your battery is only ever at 10 to 20%, you know, you go through the day, you know, like you wake up, bleh, you need a bit of coffee, pretty quickly overstimulated, fried, scattered. And then you go through your day, you don't rest, you're perpetually thinking, you're perpetually identifying with the mind activity. Basically what I'm saying is you're always at like 10% battery. You know, you wake up at 20, you drain down to about 2, you go to sleep at night, and then that's it. But the human body has a low power mode, and it's basically a vastly reduced state of consciousness. And the difference between having your battery like 10% full, or 20, or like 80, or 100, it's a big difference. It is all of the difference. It's everything. Man, my feet are chilly. Can't wait for the summer. Look at me go. Nothing wrong with right now. Completely blissful. Completely fine. Everything's beautiful. But then I'm like, I can't wait for the summer. Which, in other words, I'm saying, I don't like now. I can't wait for now to be over. And I can't wait for all the nows between now and the summer to be over. So I can be in the summer. But realistically, in the summer, I'm going to be like wanting something to be slightly different. The ego sucks. The default mode network, it sucks. The mind fucking sucks dick. It's a grateful instrument to use, but when it's just running on its own, it just ruins the entire life experience. And it's so fucking tragic that is the default consciousness for pretty much the entire planet. So much creative potential isn't manifesting into actuality because of this. So many beautiful moments, so much healing, so much love, so much just feelings of wholeness and appreciation. How many beautiful sunsets aren't being like appreciated? How many hearts are just cold and hardened and closed? Because people are walking around perpetually overstimulated and perpetually tired and perpetually in fear. It is so frustrating. We could be so alive. We could be so vibrant. We could be so alive. Like the electricity of God is constantly accessible to all of us. Like it's always here. The Kundalini, the Chi, whatever you want to call it, it is here and it's beautiful. When it's channeling up and down your spine, you feel so alive. It feels so good to be alive. Not for any particular reason, just other than to be here, to be within this context that is God, to be in this beautiful planet, in this universe. Like, it's amazing to be in this monkey, to have all of this beauty around us. To have the gift of consciousness. It is a gift, but it feels like a curse when you're perpetually suffering or you're perpetually feeling a little bit off, you know? And that's what's going on at the moment. Music is beautiful, it's harmonious. No one argues that. Even like depressed emos love music. Even people that say life sucks, it's not worth living, even they fucking love music about not, about life not being worth living. Like it's like objectively beautiful music done right. But music, where the instruments are out of tune, they're all playing in a different key, and the rhythm just isn't rhythming, they're all offbeat. Things don't feel right. And the instruments of our bodies, our nervous system, they're out of tune. Yoga is the process of tuning up the body. Yoga means union. It can also be thought of as alignment. What is tuning a guitar other than aligning the strings to the proper frequency? And then, when the music is played, it is harmonious and beautiful. This is what needs to happen, and it's so possible. It can be done. It can be done like this. I think it would blow people's minds to see how quick life could change so dramatically. Things could change so much, so fast, if the gift of yoga was unleashed on the world, But my feet are still chilly, so I should probably go. Beauty, 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 beauty. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love is a good thing. I'm gonna go.